Okay, so how to live a happy and positive life when you suffer with anxiety. So a lot of people that suffer with anxiety, I'm confident that they believe that they can't be happy, they can't achieve their goals, they can't improve themselves because they've got anxiety, and this anxiety isn't going to allow them to, it's going to hold them back, it's going to cause problems. So there's no point in really trying anything that's challenging or exciting because the anxiety is always going to ruin things for you. So this is actually not true. This is the belief that I used to have many years ago, because I suffered with anxiety all my life. From as young as I can remember, my first recollection is suffering with anxiety with going to school in that area. And then obviously meeting new people, going to new places, speaking, making decisions, traveling, and then later on dating, financial anxiety. When you suffer with anxiety, obviously you have good and bad days, but the bad days can look something like this. You're pretty much worrying and you're fearful and you're stressed about everything. You worry about money, you worry about health, you worry about relationships, you worry about fitness. You pretty much worry about leaving the house. You feel like everything is a threat. Everything can jeopardize your happiness, your well-being, your self-esteem and your mental health. But the real truth is, you can be happy and you can live a positive life, but the catch is that there is a catch. The catch-22 is you've got to work extremely hard. You've got to put a lot of time and effort in with facing the anxiety, and that's where the effort comes into, because there's always two choices of anxiety. You can avoid it, you can push it away, you can run from it, you can hide from it, or you can face it. I make these videos to inspire people to do the second thing, which is to face it. Because when you face it, this is what happens. You feel better after, you feel more confident, you feel stronger mentally and emotionally, and your outside world actually starts to change. But some of the mistakes that a lot of people make, I'm not having a go at anyone, and I'm not judging anyone, because these are things that I've done. I'm just pointing out so you can see where you're going wrong and you can put it right if you choose to. So the mistake that a lot of people with anxiety have is they allow that dominating thought pattern, you know, the negative thinking which anxiety creates, they allow that to deter them, put them off from facing their fears, taking action, going to the gym, dating, starting a business, or going to job interviews, or making phone calls, or making a YouTube video, or traveling, or making positive changes, or changing your negative relationships and forming positive ones. People get stuck with that part. And some people say, well, why am I getting stuck with this? Why is the anxiety making life difficult? Well, because it frightens you emotionally. Anxiety doesn't feel pleasant emotionally. Obviously, all of you know that. Secondly, the inner conversation to which anxiety causes, which is obviously a private conversation that you have in your own head, it's very negative, it's very fearful, there's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of self-judgment. So people get caught up in these things and it overpowers them and it defeats them and it keeps them in their comfort zones. And the longer you stay in your comfort zone with the anxiety, unfortunately, the worse it gets. And then the anxiety always turns into depression, and then depression will always turn into addiction, and then addiction will turn into more depression, more anxiety. So it's a vicious circle. But I can tell you from my life experience that I was able to create a positive, successful, amazing life despite suffering with my anxiety. And the way I went about that was, the first thing I did was I set a goal. You need a goal when you've got anxiety. If you haven't got a goal, it's almost impossible to improve it. Because if you don't have a goal, you haven't got any motivation. You've got no reason to say, you know what, I'm nervous, but I want to go and look for a job. I'm going to face my anxiety with meeting and talking to new people. And if you don't have the motivation without the goal, then you will not be motivated to get off your backside and go out and start challenging yourself. So I'm really serious. You need to figure out what your goal is. And a goal isn't, like, a goal is a positive. Like setting a goal, you can't think of it like, oh, it's an inconvenience to my life and me, it's stressful. No, it's not like that. A goal is like having a guide. It's like having a therapist. It's like having a mentor. It's like having an extra set of hands or an extra head to give you that support that you need and that drive. And that in itself will reduce anxiety. So you need a goal, you need a reason, you need a purpose, you need a reason to want to enjoy your life. And you need a reason to want to fight this fight, which is a very difficult fight, a very difficult opponent. It's a more difficult opponent than any human being that you're going to come in contact with, because it's in your own head, it's in your own mind. You live with it 24 hours a day. You've got to go to bed with it, you've got to wake up in the morning, and you've got to go throughout the rest of your day. So it's learning how to stand up to this anxiety, how to defeat it, how to outsmart it, how to work with it instead of attacking it. And another thing that I can say, this is where a lot of people go wrong, this is where I went wrong, it's one of the hardest bits, is having the guts to admit that you suffer with it. As you probably know already, any addiction, any problem, any kind of mental health problem, if you don't admit that you have it, then you're never going to come to terms, and you're never going to be able to overcome it or better manage it. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? I've got so much experience with facing it. You can't fully overcome anxiety. I know that it might break a few people's hearts to begin with, and I've come to terms with, I suffer with anxiety. I've accepted it, I've admitted it, I'm not ashamed about it anymore, and I'm going to suffer with it for the remaining time of my life. But the difference is, I can live with it, I can still be positive, confident, and I can still be happy in my life. I know that sounds like a contradiction, because it's like, well, how can you be happy if you're going to suffer with something forever? Well, you can, because it doesn't make sense intellectually. It won't make sense if you read a book, but it will make sense through living experience, and practicing. I've lived both ways in my life. I've lived with anxiety and not taking action, and not trying to improve my life, and not having any goals in life, no direction, no purpose, no focus, and my life was horrible. Every day was hell, I'll be honest with you. I've lived the second way, where life is still challenging, it's still scary, but it truly is amazing. Maybe amazing is not the right word. It's brilliant, it's exciting. It's very fulfilling, and you feel good about who you are. I could never feel good about who I was as a person when I wasn't facing my anxiety, when I wasn't being honest that I was suffering with it. And it's kind of a weird psychological little trick. If you own it and you admit that you suffer with it and you don't care what anybody else thinks, it actually starts to reduce. Just by admitting it and owning it and not denying it and not judging yourself for it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. No, none of us were born and we went, I want to have a mental health problem, please. Yeah, I want to suffer with anxiety and stress and panic. No one wants that. You didn't choose it to a large degree, but you can choose how you respond to it. You can choose to not be a victim. And guess what happens when you start setting goals, taking action, training? I'll explain what training means in a second. You become stronger than your anxiety. So again, a lot of people think that a person can't be confident. A person can't be attractive, they can't be successful financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Someone wouldn't be able to do that if they had anxiety. Because like having anxiety is almost a thing where there's something wrong with you and you're lesser. That's not true. That's just ignorant. That's just some of the things in society that people believe, people read in magazines or they hear on television, because they've never took the time to actually go out and see for themselves and live for themselves. And I figured that out. And it's not showing off, I just want to inspire people. Several years ago, I built a successful business. I made money, I changed people's lives, I got a girlfriend, I did hundreds of public talks. How did I do that? By doing all the things that I'm sharing today in this video. I was honest about my anxiety, I had goals in my life, I had dreams, and I went towards those goals and dreams and I succeeded, and I became a really confident person. And I've gone through a mental breakdown in 2017, which set me back, gave me tons more anxiety, and now I've came back. Now I've got myself in way better shape. So it's your choice. I can't make the choice for you. I'd rather you do the second one. You can live with it, you can suffer with it, and not be a person who's confident and courageous and accountable and positive, or you can do the latter, the second option. I love the second option, it's brilliant. Now listen, I hope this will help people. When you become successful and you achieve your goals, whatever they are to you, it does really make you happy, but you still get bad days. I still get bad days. Today isn't my best day. I'll be honest about that, but it's still a really good day. And you might ask me why. I don't know, I woke up, I didn't feel great today. I went to the gym, And out of 20 workouts since I've been back in the boxing gym, 19 have been amazing. Today I didn't really enjoy it, but I still did it, and I got something out of it. And I didn't really feel like making this video today, but I made the video to show you that this is one of the things that you need to do. You need to do things when you don't feel like it. I know I'm going to have an amazing day later on because I can feel my mood regenerating. I can feel the positivity coming back because of the honesty and the action taken. And I know I'm going to have an amazing day tomorrow. So it's okay not to have good days. We have an obsession in our culture and society that you've got to always be smiling. You've always got to be happy for the cameras. You've always got to be showing people that your life's amazing. Believe me, if you want something more meaningful, you've got to stop with that. I stopped with that ages ago, and my life is a lot better. And when you go, you know, I'm having a bad day today, it's not a great day, I'm not happiest, but it's fine, it's okay, I give myself that permission. I'm not going to judge myself, I'm not going to beat myself up, because I know there's so many good days ahead, and I know this comes with having it. This is part of the challenge of it. But can you be positive, even with days when you're not feeling great? I can still be positive in this. I've been positive today in the gym, I've spoke to people, still got a good attitude. Still not going to fall into self-doubt or not believing in myself because tomorrow's going to be a great day. And I'm still grateful, got health, so much to be grateful for. So it's a mentality, and to get that mentality that I've got and I'm continuing to get, you've got to train, you've got to work hard. And the training and the working hard is really as simple as this. You've got to socialize often, I'll say that again. You've got to be around people often, socialize. Secondly, you've got to exercise often. Anxiety doesn't like exercising and socializing, which is why I give it plenty. I give it plenty because that's what lowers it. Now, to give another example of greatness, Tyson Fury suffers of anxiety. He's open, he's honest about it if you haven't seen his videos. Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion of the world. He was just involved on the weekend, probably the most exciting heavyweight fight I've seen since I can't even remember. Amazing. He just, obviously he's regained his title, beating Deontay Wilder. He's such a confident person. He gets up, he sings in front of thousands, he fights, he literally fights. He raises awareness, he's helped me. So if he has it, if I have it, if you've got it, we've got nothing to be ashamed of. Because that just proves that a person can become the heavyweight champion of the world despite suffering of anxiety. And I became a successful confidence, dating, relationship, social coach, motivational speaker, YouTuber. I achieved that with the anxiety. So it's your choice. Use your anxiety to create a life to which you're happy, you're proud of. Don't worry about what others think. There's no race. I don't compare myself to others. I don't compete with others. I don't race others. I compare myself to who I am yesterday and how I can be better the next day. So the attitude comes through the exercising, the socializing, the goal setting, and the action taking. And enjoying life, like I said, and accepting that we all have bad days. But in bad days, I always ask myself, well, I'm having a bad day, how can I still make it a bit better? There's always things you can do. You can phone your mum, your dad, you can speak to someone, you can shower, you can clean your apartment, you can get involved. You need a project. So if you don't have a project, then anxiety is hell, man. It's hell living with it. It's horrible, it really is. But when you've got a project and you've got a focus, and that could depend on whatever you enjoy, that's got nothing to do with what other people think or what they think is good, not good, cool or not cool. You have a project, something that you love, something that's going to take a long time to fulfill. So you can put a lot of time in it. Because life's about time, right? We've got time on this earth, and we choose how we use to use our time. We can be miserable, and we can complain, and we can let our anxiety dominate, defeat us, and give us our value in this world. Or we can actually use our anxiety as energy, as ink, as clay, as building blocks to create the life that we want. So when you look at anxiety, I suppose on a scientific, on what it is, it's energy, it's emotions. And obviously you can choose to use emotions negatively or positively. So when you've got a lot of anxiety, you can go, all right, I'll go and do a gym session for 2 hours. I'm telling you, man, you come out of the gym after 2 hours, an intense workout. So that's the thing with anxiety. Of course you can get rid of it. Like, of course you can get rid of it today, but it's going to return again. So when I say to people, like, you can never fully overcome anxiety, it's not a negative. I'm not saying that someone can't improve it and they can't go into situations which make them scared and frightened and overcome that permanently. You can do that. There are areas in life where you can overcome it. I did it with making videos and speaking. I was nervous and anxious, obviously, when I started making these videos. I already had anxiety anyway. But after doing it for 10 years, it's like nothing now. I don't need a script. I don't have to second guess what I'm going to say. I can just come on. Even when I make mistakes, I can just override the mistake and continue speaking. That's because I practice for hours and hours. So you've got to practice with the anxiety. If you've got social anxiety, then you've got to practice talking to people. If you've got stage fright, then you've got to practice getting out in stage. So becoming fearless is doing all these things. And I know guys, I know it can, and girls, it can sound like that's a lot. But what choice have you got then? If you don't do it, you're miserable. You procrastinate, you get lonely, you get bored. So we all need something to do on this earth. So why not start today, goal setting, planning, and you'll be, trust me, I've done it. I've done it so many times in my life, and I've done it again of recent. You get to a point where you're like, I'm ready. My mind's fit, I'm confident, I can do things. And when you go and do things, that's how you prove self-doubt wrong, because anxiety causes a hell of a lot of self-doubt. But again, self-doubt can be positive or negative depending on how you use it. If I doubt that I can't date someone and I can't fall in love, and then I go, you know what, I doubt myself, I doubt my relationship, I doubt my attractiveness, and then I don't date because of it, self-doubt has beaten me. But if I go, I doubt myself, but I'm going to challenge it. I'm going to overcome it. And then you go out and eventually you meet someone and you're successful and you go, I proved it wrong. And that's how it works. That's how you overcome self-doubt, fear, anxiety, rejection in any area. Even with money, if you doubt yourself financially and you believe it and then you don't take any action, you don't try and improve your finances, nothing's going to change. But if you challenge it and say, I don't want this to be true, I want my life to be better, I want my financial situation to be better, then you'll overcome it and make money. I've done everything I've said today, I've done all of it successfully. Initially, I failed at all of the things I've said, dating, financially, and same with fitness. If you doubt yourself, if you think, well, I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, I can never get in shape, it's not going to work for me, diet plans won't work, training won't work. If you believe that and you don't do anything about it, then the self-doubt is going to get you. But if you go, I'm not having it, I'm overweight, I'm not happy about it, I've got a lot of self-doubt, but I don't choose to believe it. You get a diet program, you get an exercise program, you stick at it, you work at it for 3 months, bang, you're going to see a difference. So if you want to see real results of your anxiety, 3 to 6 months of continuous practice. And that requires you on a day-to-day basis facing areas of your life that make you anxious. Whatever those areas are, it doesn't really matter what they are. What matters is you face it. You grow stronger, you grow wiser, you grow more attractive if you're lucky like me, and you get more experienced. And then the anxiety starts to lessen. The more confidence you gain, the more experience, the more courage, the more mental toughness, the more the anxiety starts to decrease. And then obviously you know yourself, you don't need somebody else to tell you, you can feel how you feel. And once you start seeing the improvements, that's the best part. If I want to give any of you hope in this video, the best bit with getting over anxiety and improving your life is when you start to see yourself improving. You feel it, you see it. People will notice it, your family will say it, friends, people close to you will notice that you've changed, that you're more positive, you're more confident, you're more happy, you're smiling more. And once you see that and you get that, of course you're going to want more of that. You're not going to want to go back to the darkness and depression, despair and isolation and loneliness. So it takes time, guys. There's no rush. Start today, do a little bit each day, come back 3 to 6, well, obviously watch my videos as much as you can or you want, subscribe to the channel. Practice with your anxiety for 3 to 6 months and come and speak to me. Let me know how you're doing. You're going to be a different person. You really are, sorry. So I appreciate you coming on today. That's the lesson today. I will go into more like detail with the gym and things like that, but I have said this in pretty much every video. Now, if you're interested in working with me in the future, doing a 6 weeks anxiety program over Skype, if you can't do it in person, that could work better. I can help you. I can help you with these things, obviously privately on the coaching. Send me an email, right? You're not obligated to sign up to anything, and I'm not obligated to take you on if I think I can't help you. We'll do a free Zoom call for 40 minutes and we'll have a conversation about where you're at, where you want to be. and we'll see if we can work together and if my 6 weeks program can help you. I am going to also do the program in person, but I'm doing more limited time in person. I'm doing more time online. So we'll discuss, we'll see what works, and if it doesn't, that's fine. There's no love lost. You can continue watching my videos and maybe you'll find somebody that's right for you. So drop me an email if you want to book a free Zoom call, and we'll go from there. It's a private call, so it's not going to be recorded. No one else is going to see your conversation with me, and we'll go from there and see you in the next video. Let me know in the box below if this helped you. One thing I said today that has helped you to be more positive, or to give you more information and knowledge on how you can improve your anxiety, live a better life. I appreciate all your support. I'll see you guys and girls soon. Become fearless.